Wave of Denial pushes back enemies and projectiles for a small amount of damage and an increased amount if you can hit them against walls. This item is an absolutely fantastic defensive option for any type of build, not even just tactics. Although I am going to be working with tactics today because I want to try and get the most out of this offensively that I possibly can. Of course, it doesn't really matter too much if you're just trying to push back enemies as well as get like auto parries on both magical bolts as well as bombs. But I know that one of the big things that people always say whenever I try and use this item a lot is that I'm never using it to its full potential. Like, you can really spam this thing. It's only got a 5-second cooldown, and it does do quite a bit of damage if you can hit enemies against walls or especially off of edges and let gravity do its work. So I'm going to try and really see what I can do with this today. I know it's going to be even more effective if I can manage to get a little bit of cooldown reduction on top of this. Something like Hunter's Instinct, I know can turn a 5-second cooldown into every single room you go into. You can just spam this thing, kill a bunch of enemies, spam it again, rinse and repeat until you're through the level. So I'm interested in seeing how this is going to go. It's one of those items that I think is not really something you hang a run around. You can, certainly, just by waiting for it to be off of cooldown a lot, in the same way that I was using the Giant's Whistle in the previous run. However, I usually just like using it in case of emergencies, and that's why I think that this really does have a lot of potential to be a very good run otherwise. But I am going to need to get some of those mutations to get that working in the first place, and hopefully some other good secondary items to really buff out the run. Sure, Wave Denial is nice, but you really can't rely on any skill for your only source of damage, unless it's something extremely overpowered, like a very good turret. As much as I would like to, for the sake of these runs, it is just not possible. Also, of course, even as good as the damage is, and also just the ability to really stun enemies out of attacks, it's not good enough to destroy elites in one in the same way that you can do with regular dudes. So, gonna want to get something good. Hit up the shop as soon as possible and see what we got there. Maybe even go try to get like pyrotechnics or something, because I know one of the really common things I always see on Wave of Denial is cover enemies in oil, which is a pretty effective way to do that. I mean, like I said, low cooldown cost. I'm going to be spamming this thing a lot. It would be a good way to get anything that requires just enemy takes, an enemy is covered in oil or something. 100% on burning oil would also be a good for that too. If I can just find like flamethrower turret or anything that does fire, it doesn't matter. I know usually I don't like taking magic missile, but I do want to well, I guess I didn't turn it off, so it's here. I'll switch to something else if I possibly can. This would also be a very good item just in general for going melee tactics. Usually not my favorite kind of run, but it is one that, works well at close ranges. Usually I like to think of that as with the ability to get away from enemies. However, I do think that it'll still be just as effective even if I'm sticking very close. After all, that's how you get enemies hit into walls. So let's try this out, and also get into the sewers, because just in general, I know that, sewers, along with the ugly worms and everything, just have a lot of projectiles to be reflecting, as well as, of course, the Conjunctivious fight as a whole, giving you a great opportunity to reflect a lot of characters around. Not in terms of the tentacles, but in terms of the normal Conjunctivious. It's like stunning her out of attacks as well as reflecting a lot of projectiles back to her will deal a lot of damage. One thing that I'm not entirely sure how well it does synergize with is any sort of parrying type of mutation. I mean, this is very similar to what you get out of a parry from any sort of shield, but there's stuff like the Spite mutation that I think could be kind of effective with this, and I would like to see it in action, but I want to say it's probably, it just says reflected shots. I'd like to take it, but I also know it's not going to be what I'm looking for, so instead I'm going to take Astronomy for right now. Keep it nice and easy. That's also one that I know for a lot of tactics runs I've had people yelling at me to take because it does give you a lot of healing, even if you are occasionally taking a little bit of malaise because of it. I'm not going to need to worry too much in terms of worrying about... Although I should have probably gone with the... Good. Though I should have probably gone with the cooldown reduction immediately, just to kind of keep it nice and simple for the beginning here. You know, make sure that I'm getting the most out of this item before the damage might be dropping off a little in late game. That's kind of my biggest fear as far as what's going to be going on with this item. That it's just like, sure, the damage is good right now, but for how long? Well, yeah, otherwise, Wave Denial should also be just very effective at destroying a bunch of objects on the ground, which will mean that in terms of getting the crowbar critical working, that'll be nice, I think. Let's take a look right now. No, there's no critical there, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping, because I know that when it comes to breaking doors, that it doesn't matter what breaks doors, as long as a door breaks. You get a little bit of criticals with that, the crowbar, but I guess that doesn't seem to be the case here. You still got to break the stuff on the ground manually, unfortunately. I'm going to save that for a little bit later, probably after I'm done with this. If past occurrences are any indication. What do you got? Nothing but especially for something that, you know, getting as many stats as possible, especially 6 at this point in time, and as long as I can keep on top of upgrades, I should be looking good at actually getting a decent amount of damage out of this weapon. And as much as I do know that it works on projectiles, I don't think it works on trap projectiles. You can do things like parry ball and chain if you actually want to try it. There's not really too much point in doing it. However, that's possible. I don't think that's quite the same thing for Wave Denial. Didn't really get too much of a chance to check there. Those things didn't show up as much as I was kind of hoping they would for the sake of science, if nothing else. Yeah, you really got to try to... Yeah, I do think that this is maybe one of the few times that having the whole teleport mechanic is going to work out more in my favor than it works out against me when it comes to dealing with enemies. Because if I can get enemies in tiny, tiny areas, well, that's really where you want to try and either knock enemies into walls or off of ledges. And that's where this weapon is really going to shine. Like that. It's like all I got to do is just kind of get like, okay, this is the one area, like this sort of area that I'm looking at right here. I want to go try and get as many characters attracted to me as possible, and then just drop the hammer on them when I get them in there. That's at least going to be the plan. As always, best laid plans of mice and men, etc. You know how it goes. There's a lot of those little things in Dead Cells that I get the idea of, hey, this is going to work out super effectively when I get this scenario working for me, and then it comes up like 3 times in the entire run. That's just the unfortunate truth of the matter. Okay, I'm glad I didn't get hit there. That's just the unfortunate truth of the matter. And sometimes it's just... Now's the point in time where I'm going to go use that piece of food. I knew keeping it around was a good idea. The truth of the matter is that there are so many items that I want to do all these little cutesy tactics with, and then, you know, when push comes to shove, I'm just like, just give me the double crossbow-matic. just let me have that. It's fine. That's all I really need to finish the run. Though, I mean, obviously, of course, this does have so many more applications than just pure damage, which I think is the real difference maker when it comes to this item. You're looking for something that is going to be useful. You already had your chance to shine. This is going to be something that's going to be useful at any point in time in so many different scenarios, and not just like, well, when you can get it working, like the there we go. Nice. Good. Like the explosive decoy, for example, where, well, there's just, yeah, there's just so many better opportunities to use it there. Say the stiletto. Of course, this works best in brutality run when you're using open wounds and everything. However, it's like if I can get like Any sort of applies poison, applies bleeding on enemies. Not the most common of affixes, but affixes that you don't see, that are not impossibly... There we go. That's the sort of thing I was looking for. Not things that are impossibly difficult to get. As a power, it only has so many affixes it can get on it. That's something that could be pretty effective, especially if I get that cooldown reduction as I was planning. Instinct, Hunter's Instinct, or Instinct of the Master of the Arms are both good options for this once I get a little bit farther into the game. Right now, Hunter's is going to be the one to get. And also something I didn't even think of when I was coming in here is that, yeah, the infected zombies do mean that I get free biters around here. All I gotta do is just auto parry the egg back at them. But as we saw from the biter run, you know, how much are a couple biters worth, really? Unfortunately. Hey, it's great for any sort of, you know, projectile that you don't want to deal with. If you're even somewhat hesitant on how it's going to be working, just slam down the wave of denial. And again, it doesn't even matter. I think that very, very early on in the fourth season of Showcase runs, I had an extremely good survival run that was with that was using a wave of denial. I want to say you can probably go back and find that one pretty easily. It's some sort of very early shield run, I want to say. I don't remember exactly which one it is, but it's like, I was very surprised at just how effective that was, considering it wasn't even one that should be scaling with survival at all. The defensive capabilities are just too good. Good. Already getting a lot of... I mean, speaking of, like, kind of mixing and matching survival and tactics, I think that gastronomy was actually a very good choice. Should be. I've been getting very lucky when it comes to the uninfected food and everything, but it's still quite good anyway. So I suppose for future tactics runs should really consider this. Currently looking at 0 malaise, 0 100% health, 0 hits taken, I guess is what I could have said there. That's not usually how you say that, though. It's good. I'm considering that a lot of the tactics mutations have the unfortunate property of mostly being damage focused for already what tends to be such a high damage type of... Okay, fine. No, went with the big jumpy, eh? Yeah. Oh no, not my... I was so... No, I had time now. No, but wow, that's unfortunate. Should have just went down here, did that, and then bam, would have gotten 60 kills, no problem at all. Well, that's my bad once again. I'm really not trying to... I did that once on purpose, as a gag, that nobody found funny except for myself. But I'm not actually trying to do that now. Okay, well. This is where things might start getting a little bit hairier because, you know, the prison depths, the sewer depths. I can never remember the name of this thing. Why? But I have confidence in the ability for this weapon to work very well, especially against the toxic miasmas, because that's kind of what we're looking at. Also getting a lot of extra damage just from gastronomy. Well, quote unquote, a lot of. I think I'm getting what, like 10% extra at best. 20%, I think, because I got 2 stacks of it. So that's something. I should have gotten the 60 kills there. Of course, I shouldn't have also gotten hit by the dudes in the first place that I'm trying to think of the name of, the ugly worm. That was just bad by itself. So I do think the other thing that might be nice is maybe going for scheme. If I got low cooldown, big melee hits, yeah, that's something to think about. It's a weird combination, but one that does incorporate both ranged and melee at the same time, so it could be something. Well, let's see. I got high hopes. Although this is also pretty nice by itself. Okay, I'm gonna stick with this for right now, just for the range and, you know, getting rid of the curse and everything. And then obviously what I can do is there is this little area up here that I can send the that I can try and really to deal with the problems that have suddenly and abruptly arisen. Well, almost got me. Nope. Ah, damn it. I should have known. I didn't realize that I was going to be hitting enemies immediately. And yeah, don't forget about the fact that there are the crabs do reflect ranged attacks too in this area, which makes it just all a lot of really fun stuff. Starting up in the rest area because I do want to make good on that promise to get 60 kills that I didn't really do before. I knew I was capable of it, and especially after getting well, here, what do we got? And especially after getting a very good electric whip, it was super trivial to go through that previous area, get the 60 kills, and actually get into this door. I did switch that out for a shrapnel axe because, of course, I think that one is one of those items that really overshadows the entire run, so let's not take that one for too long. I'm gonna keep Gastronomy, but I do think that I might want to reroll Mutation soon enough because, as it turns out, I don't think the instinct of the hunter's instinct, is actually working well with the Way of Denial. I was hoping that getting kills by knocking enemies against walls with that would work, you know, give me the cooldown reduction, but it doesn't seem to, unfortunately. That's not necessarily a terrible thing. You can really, you know, if you're using something like the Electric Whip, for example, that does mean that you can still get a lot of cooldown reduction just spamming that at the same time that you're also spamming Wave Denial. It's just, you know, it's not quite the really big game changer that I was hoping that it was going to be, which is unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. Also, hey, having a melee weapon does mean that these guys are so much friendlier to fight right now. Having a little bit of, there we go. Having a little bit of damage in the form of the Knife Storm, same thing. Because I want burst now, and not burst in the way that I'm knocking back enemies. Although that is nice, it's not quite what I want. Also got like 100% on inflammable oil, I got inflammable oil and 100% on burning oil targets, so maybe there's something to that. Also, man, nearly got killed there. He's got 1 hit point left. Bam, bam, there we go. Okay, I do think that if I want to try and get like some sort of good synergy, especially if I am using melee, I should go for the scheme instead, because that's just something that should, like, looking at it, you know, big extra hit, especially if I'm going to be using a sort of lowish damage weapon like the shrapnel axes, I think it'd be quite effective. In the meantime, yeah, shrapnel axes. I know. Everybody told me after I did the run that it's like, hey, they're not as bad as you say. And I just think I'm not seeing it. It's still not very good. Just the damage is very low on these things unless you get the final swing of the combo, and it's like there are so many weapons that it's like the final swing of the combo might finish them off, but every other swing also does a lot of damage too. Slammers might be largely immune to stuns, but it seems like Wave of Denial kind of gives them just a little. I don't think they're immune to staggering is the real way to say it, which makes the difference here. Got him. Yeah, with a kill too. I boosted gauntlets. If that was actually colorless, absolutely. That would be a fantastic item to take, but it's not really. By the way, word of the episode is fantastic, which I like. I think that's a good word for the episode. That's a fun. Say it right now. Say it right now. Come on. I'm telling you. Fantastic. Give like the each syllable a lot of room there, and you'll be having a much better day for it, I think. Got it. This is not really the ideal sort of shield, but hey, much like how Wave of Denial is going to be working regardless of whatever sort of stat you have, any shield is going to function as a shield, which is one of the big strengths of having one of those. Good. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, I have to stop saying that now before everybody clicks off of the video. Okay, it works for a very short little bit there. Nothing more than that. Yeah, right into the wall. Big stun, even if it doesn't quite have the damage I'm looking for. I mean, it's good for setting up the next hit. Oh, this is playing with fire, literally and figuratively. I don't know, man. I don't think this is. I'll try. I'll re-roll that in the next area. But for right now, I want to just at least, just to take a look. See, test the waters. No, it doesn't do that much damage. Okay, let's maybe just switch that out for something that I know is going to be. Oh, very nice. Poison has no effect. I was kind of hoping for poison heals, but given the area that I decided to thrust myself into, but that's fine just by itself too. It's got its own uses. Good. Stuns are still valuable. You can knock enemies out of attacks, and that is going to be something that you'll see an awful lot later in the run. But reflection, of course, is the real thing. The best example is going to, of course, come in the Hand of the King fight, where stun plus reflecting projectiles is very, very good. Just a lot of really fantastic stuff that you can get out of that just by itself. Okay, at least I rallied up most of my health. That was, for a second there, slightly worrying. But a second is all it takes. Ooh, poison. I'll take that instead of knife dance. Good, but it doesn't synergize very well because slowdown means that I'm not going to be able to hit them against walls then. I guess I'm going to have to switch that out for something else then in the next area or so. That's just, that's kind of to be expected, Sometimes you just take things where it's like Crusher's a great weapon, but I wouldn't really call it like super high tier overwrite the run, except in this circumstance. So that is not as fantastic as I was hoping. All right, let's get right into. I mean, it's not as bad as taking the electric whip. I think is the real takeaway you should have for that. The electric whip is just, oh, what an amazing weapon that is now. I'm so glad that thing changed up at the very beginning of the game, and even like significantly after. At the very beginning of the game, when damage buffer just gave you a flat increase to damage, it was super overpowered, and now, as we've gotten quite into the game, it's become overpowered once again. It just warms my heart to see it. Besides, I like it. Tossing lightning around is how I beat, Sure. The poison's good, too, because I guess, Crusher might not be for long for this world, but at least for right now, I can get a lot out of it in terms of poison. What do I want? Yeah, I was thinking ski. Using a skill? Yep, sure. Think that of the choices here, that's a good one. And I'm not going to be too disappointed with it. Oh yeah, World Ends With You is just like tap to shoot lightning. And I put on like 3 of those badges, and then... Oh, that was a ball game, really. Ooh, that was kind of a big hit. Bigger hit than I was expecting. So... Even if there are some issues, like, for example, the tentacles, stop getting hit. You just started this area. Why are you doing so badly? Yeah, even if, like, the tentacles aren't really going to be pushed around too much, being able to just use that as an opener, I think is going to be quite effective. Okay, now is Flamethrower Turret, I do think, is a little bit more overpowered comparatively. However, it is... It's more in line with what I want to do with the run. Gotta go also get like a better shield too, or secondary item entirely. I would take something like a Firebrands. I think would be pretty effective here. Good, and good. Eesh. Scary, but not too scary. especially not with Wave Denial on my side. It's hard to overstate just how good this item is, especially if you can go find like a colorless version of it, just to get that little bit of extra damage out of there, or, of course, if you get a legendary version, re-roll it into having whatever sort of synergistic affixes you require. Poison, fire, bleeding, something that prevents you from dropping into spikes, which, as far as I know, is not an affix just yet. But keep playing this way, Motion Twin might be inspired. Bam. Bam. Very okay. Yeah, that does have extra damage against frozen targets. Something that's probably not going to be coming up too much, but hey, it's something. And they're actually lined up that combo perfectly for getting rid of those bombs. Bam. Good. Fortunately, don't quite have the cooldown reduction for anything else. Yeah, it's if I get a ranged weapon, I think that's going to be a little bit better, and I'm going to look for something like that, but probably not at the expense of flawlessly executed, but not at the expense of getting a better shield or secondary item entirely. I guess I do have Hokuto's bow, which blah, blah, blah. Everything works out well with that item. It's a very good item. But we're not going to be doing that here, as usual. I might be slowly softening up on some of my restrictions here over time, but I'm going to still hold on to them adamantly for the most part. Look, flamethrower turret? When was the last time I threw down a flamethrower turret? Tell me that. You're so smart. Yeah, exactly. Never. I've never used a flamethrower turret the entirety of this run. And if things go right, I'm going to keep it that way. There we go. And I'll take the hit just to make sure that my health is okay. It's the one malaise isn't too much, especially considering how, everything with tactics runs tends to go. Could be way worse. What do you got down here? Still looking for as much money as I possibly can, because I'm probably going to be going to the graveyard, so getting the most out of the food shop that's in there is just a good practice. Yeah, that whole thing where I was talking about, like, hey, I'm going to line every enemy up on, like, a single surface and then blast them all at once. Well, I told you that was one of those things that I was going to pretty much immediately go back on. Now that I'm thinking about it, though, maybe I'll try and get a little bit more... Well, didn't quite get the... There we go. Didn't quite get the combo that I was looking for, but that's okay. Yeah, that was 3 stats, but it was 3 of my non-main stats, 3 of my off stats, my dump stats. I'm not having a dumpy run, not today. I need a good run. I really don't, but... I feel like that last run it will last me as far as good runs go for a while, but especially with that good clutch win there. Clutch win due to my own incompetence, but you know what I'm saying. But still, I'd like to see this one be successful. Going with a little bit of melee tactics is a rare duck when it comes to 5-cell runs, after all. Getting one of those feathers in my cap would not be too bad. Although, of course, I am not opposed to... be good. Could give me a little bit more opportunity to try and take a little bit more malaise, at least for the time being. Just thinking about it. I wouldn't be opposed to getting, like, a very good ranged weapon, though, too. As usual. Yeah, I'll take it. I think that's good for just about everything I'm going to be doing here. Parry shield gets you a lot of extra damage, and, of course, works a lot with the whole projectile repulsion type of thing that I'm doing right now. I think it's it works with the spirit of the run, even though there's no particular synergy that this provides. Can I get hit just, like, once more by the... Okay. No? Oh, that wasn't quite enough. I need to get hit, like, once more to get the synergy, to get the best usage out of my sword. Also, yeah, of course, one has to appear right here too. I mean, it's not more powerful than the one I have, which is I think an extra level on that. It was like a frantic sword, 6 or something, or is it 4? 9. Okay, well I can't read. Anyway, as if you didn't know. Get as much health as possible, because if I am gonna be flying to the danger zone, taking a ride into that danger zone, I should probably be somewhat cautious with how I'm playing this. Get a little bit more health. Also, yeah, I'll take a fresh version of this, I guess. Frozen targets would be something tempting to try and build for, cause being a literal burst, you could swing that pretty easily, I think. Now, if I find another, I think I might be getting the damage that I was so seeking right now if I don't play this very well. I hope I got a good necklace at least. Yeah, that's a good necklace. 75% damage reduction, extra health, all a lot of really, really nice stuff. And just real quick, okay, well, there it is. I might use a potion charge at this rate. No, not yet. Like, let's take a look here. Oh, it does. I did not expect it to actually reflect that. That actually, like, legitimately surprises me. How about that? Well, that makes this going through these a little bit easier then. Okay, come on, please. Makes going through this a little bit easier then. Potentially. I mean, there's that one section that appears in this where you get the 2 saw blades that are potentially flying towards you as you need to go through them. And because you can't really... Okay, fine. I bunged that one up. You got me. I'm not going to die here either. Anyway, yeah, that's very difficult to get through. That could be much easier if you do have Wave of Denial. Something to think about if the opportunity arises in the future. That's going to require a very specific set of occurrences, but if they line up perfectly, that's your get out of jail free card when it comes to some of the more difficult challenge rift sections. Potentially. Don't you tell me. Don't tell me that there was a piece of watermelon in here, because I'm going to be quite upset. You can't see it, but I'm like, it's uninfected too. Oh, game. Oh, Dead Cells. You got me again. You card. You absolute devil. I don't have anything else to say. Anyway, man. Oh, I actually pushed it off the edge. And it revealed that there was no underneath to that tentacle. What you saw was what you got. That's also kind of funny. I for some reason I thought that those things were like impossible to move, but I guess not. Okay, well that's goofy. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. You know what? I'm just giving myself opportunities to go get that watermelon at this point in time now, aren't I? Hoo boy. Okay. Oh, you got like 1 hit point left. Let's just go get that and get out of here. Well, this was... Strike this one up as another thing that happened in an episode of Dead Cells. Because this certainly did happen, and it is in an episode of Dead Cells. So, here we are. Oh, wow. That's what you were tossing stuff at, I see. Good. Bam, and we're looking good. Yeah, no, Wave of Denial is still great, and also one of those things that I always forget about. You get this thing from Bombardiers. You know, the guys that shoot the bombs that explode into other bombs. Those guys, for some reason, I guess this is kind of like bomb-ish, bomb-like to a certain extent, but that's the guys that drop the blueprint. It's not an uncommon occurrence. You'll probably find it just going through levels, especially at higher difficulties where you get a whole bunch of those guys spawning at all points in time. But it is a, if you're looking for this thing, and I would highly recommend it for a lot of, what you got? Nah. Highly recommend it for, like, any type of build, really. It's like, that's where you get it. Okay. Everything used. I'm not taking any extra keys with me for no reason. Nothing really else to look at. No food on the ground. Got a decent little buff from gastronomy. It's not huge, but hey, plus 12% ain't bad. I'll take an extra 12%. That's damage in the bank. And then let's get in here and get ready to go. Going to want to save up for a potion charge, so let's not, you know, go too crazy with re-rolling stuff right now. Save that for a little bit. In the meantime, I think I'm pretty well prepared for this. Oh, I guess the stun actually prevented her from doing the first type of dash attack. Don't go and hit my turret instead of me. Look, I'm your combatant, not the... There. I'm your combatant, not the turret. Turret's just my helper. Brought them along, paid them $5 and told them to follow me around. Okay. Not quite what I wanted there, but that's okay. Why does it hate the turret so much? Answers to questions I will never have. Questions to answers I will never have. No, none of these are the correct word to say. Anyway. Moving on. Am I getting... I got inflammable oil on the Frantic Sword. Don't have inflammable oil on anything else, though. And that said, hey, getting the damage from... getting the damage from the wave denial and scheme is still pretty effective here. Doing quite a bit for me. And speaking of which... Yeah, it's like even when you're not trying to actually actively hurt enemies with this, just having the scheme by itself is pretty good. This like sort of micro stun there too also works out effectively enough for me. I should just stay like this, yeah. Okay, stop getting hit though. That's a little bit more than what I was bargaining for. Okay. Not homing in on the conjunctivius as much as I was hoping for, but... you know what? Better safe than sorry, etc. Besides, you don't really get too many opportunities when it comes to playing tactics to use potion charges anyway, so it's not too bad. You can hit enemies, you can hit the tentacles away with the... You can hit like the sweeping tentacles away with the Wave of Denial, which is weird, but I guess I'm not surprised. Doesn't matter how fast enemies are going, they will still fall to the wave just the same. Okay, didn't quite hit them in the... hit them as well as I wanted to. Always makes that dodging easier. Quite a bit easier, in fact. Can I go for... There we go. Got the Wave of Denial end. I'm satisfied with that. Not as satisfied with how like the rest of that was going, but hey, it's okay. And you know what? I'm willing to switch this one out. I have oil. I have... I can get rid of the flamethrower turret, which I think is a little bit too much to have in the build anyway. Obviously not in that last run, but for future situations. It's going to be a little bit too overpowered that I don't really want to use it. Too good to use, except not in the usual way you say that, in the way that it's too good so I don't want to use it to ruin the showcase run that I'm doing. There's a big difference between the two. Yeah, I mean, I still have inflammable oil, burning oil target. Yeah, this is good synergy. I'm gonna go switch the flamethrower turret out for something else when I get the opportunity, whenever that arises, which is probably gonna be sooner than later. There's a lot of chests in the graveyard you can go and find. Get a good chance at finding something in. Speaking of which, let's take a look. For example, right here immediately. Okay, that's why not? Hey, I can always use the barnacle is also one of those items that I'm going to eventually need to do a showcase run of. So let's get a little preview of it right now. Now there's the one you want to take the crowbar with, which I didn't. Because first off, when the crowbar was first introduced, it did not have tactic scaling, but also it, you know, ooh, very nice. Did not have tactic scaling, but also it didn't have, you know, I forgot. That's the real thing. I forgot that, yes, barnacles are a thing in Half-Life. I haven't played Half-Life in many a year. I'm sorry. I only played the original one because I'm old. Hey, you know how long it takes to go through doctor school? Quite a while. And I am a legitimate doctor who has gone to doctor school. Here we go. Yeah, I should deal with the, I am not a legitimate doctor, by the way. Do not take any advice that I have vis-a-vis, like, medicine or, like, fine arts or whatever. Ah, come on now. Didn't kill them nearly as fast as I was kind of hoping. But, I mean, that's my bad for assuming. After all. Now then. Right into the spikes. And right on top of them. And then push off right into the spikes again. That was the combo that I was looking for, and it went great. Nah. 75% damage reduction, of course. It's like, it doesn't make too much of a difference when you're talking about tactics, but it does make a difference. It's just a minor difference. Right into the spikes. Hey, in absence of having gravity work for you, you know what also works great? Spikes. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Now then. Yeah, I'm starting to really get the good damage off of this now. And with like Hunter's Instinct finally actually functional, it is working out even better. Good. Didn't quite get both of them at once, but didn't really matter. Easy enough to deal with two dudes if you take down one of them first. Well, yeah, of course it is. What am I saying? That's just nonsense. No, I don't think I can duck well. Yeah, you can't duck while using that, but somehow I ducked just long enough to not get killed. So that's a win in my book. All right, one and yeah. Ooh, this is gonna be a little bit rough though. Well, this is the sort of thing that I was talking about with like, let's go find, not small enough. Should have a small enough ledge up here especially. Perfect. Perfect. Could not have been better. Knocking enemies on top of enemies deals a lot of damage, even more than them just falling off and taking gravity damage in the first place. And that was exactly what I wanted to have happen there. Okay, good. Still a little bit frightening, a little bit scary in terms of running, but in terms of running or runs, I guess would be the more accurate term. But it's going okay. I can afford like a piece of food as well as my potion charge. I would not be opposed to that. Because I would like to get full up on health and everything. And I usually don't try to go this hard into getting money. But I think it's important this time. Same thing with like hitting over the edge of this. I like to have expedient runs. You know, runs, something I always said back in the day was constant forward momentum. You know what? I do like that. I do like that quite a bit. Constant forward momentum. That's how I live my life. Or at the very least, my video games. Yeah. And then going to some of the side areas just to get a little bit of extra cash. You know, if you're worried about optimizing your runs at all point in time, you're going to drive yourself to madness. But Here, I think it is actually kind of worthwhile. Take as many opportunities as I can get. Now then, should be able to... I mean, I do think Wave of Denial also just in general is very effective with Crow's Wings because it puts you above enemies, but of course with with Wave Denial working in a 360-degree spread, it's like it doesn't make that much of a difference. You get the same level of usage out of it regardless. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Tiny little ledge, get down here. Didn't actually use that because I was waiting for more enemies to jump up there. Whatever, that's my bad. And then Wave Denial them all off into oblivion, into their final rest, even though they're already zombies. You know what I'm saying. Their second death, if you're a World of Darkness fan. Okay, I guess that's not entirely uncommon in a lot of vampire fiction, but you know what I mean. Look, they get chunked. They're definitely dead. Trust me on that one. I'm a doctor, etc. No, not even that is going to convince me. Nice try, though. I kind of want to just keep what I got. I like this combo. It's a good one. And then, in the meantime... Oh, so very close. But it's not going to take too much to get me to the point that I need to be. Or I could try going for... Well, I can also see maybe there's going to be, like, food around here. Get, like, malaise cure instead. Point is, right now, there is still a cursed chest. And you know how cursed chests do in this game. I still think it's a little too harsh that even after all this time, even so long into my tenure as Dead Cells guy, which plays Dead Cells, I still think that instant death is a bit too harsh. And by a bit too, I mean monumentally too harsh. It's like, come on, give me a little bit of let. But I know at this point in time, they're not going to be changing that up. I can hem and haw as much as I want. It's not going to happen. Well, let's take a look here. I'm going to just... There we go. Just going to kill the invisible guy because, you know, I want to see my enemies. I want to see their glowing eyes fade out of existence when I ferry them off to their second death. Okay. It's not bad. Do I want to... Poise Axe is not bad. It does pretty decent damage, but I think it works best with like a melee weapon where the rooting is going to make a lot more of a difference and everything. So I'm gonna sell it for right now. Stick with my pyro. And then hope that... Good. I can deal with this without dying. Which, I mean, is basically what I say about literally everything I do in my life. I hope I can do it without dying. Okay, almost got me. Oh boy. It's okay, though. I'm alive. It's okay, everybody. I didn't die this time. Next time, certainly. Okay. I'm just going to roll right behind this guy. Right into the wall, and then take him out. It's a good combo. There, and yeah. Just big hit with the Wave of Denial, and that's what I was hoping for. Also, didn't quite get him in the pit that I was hoping for, but that's okay. Everything's working out just fine. This is, I think we are very quickly going into what should be, I don't want to say it, because it's maybe a little bit presumptuous at this point, a real lock of a run, provided that I don't die to, like, a exploding bat coming right up next to me when I least expect it. Which is the only time that exploding bats appear. I should also remember that I can, like, take care of projectiles with the Wave of Denial if I am worried about maybe curse death occurring in my near future. But, I don't. It's fine. I got this handled. Curse death should not be appearing at any point in time past this, I believe. Yeah, I think I'm kind of out of the woods if I go into the cavern, which I might want to do. Oh, nice. I mean, that's, the Wave Denial, both pretty effective against either of the bosses that you're going to be going for, but I guess maybe the Giant has a little bit more projectile-focused gameplay going on. I'd say you could swing it either way. Good, and good. I am going to have to get rid of Scheme, though, if I'm not going to be using a melee weapon. If you are going to be using a melee weapon, and I do think that Wave of Denial is definitely an important part of the kit if you want to go for a melee tactics run, it's just too good to ignore. However, it's like if I'm not going to be using that right now, I think that I probably want to switch it out for something else. Going to be a little bit difficult to do considering I just spent all my money on buying out a food shop, but you know. That's how it goes. Look, I'd rather be alive than dead. I'd rather be spinning people right around. That's a real stretch of a reference, but I did it anyway. You should be expecting that on this channel at this point if you don't already. There we are. Well, maybe it's not going to be as bad as I thought. Also, that would have been the time to use the... Thinking about it right now, that would have been the time to use the Wave Denial, where as soon as that Inquisitor was about to get me... Well, either way, I did get the 60 kills, which is what I wanted to do, making up for past sins and all that. And then, yeah, can head on out of here and see what's crack-a-lackin' everywhere else. I do think that if this isn't, if you could go either way for bosses, I do think that Wave Denial is probably better for the Cavern in general. Because the Cavern has a lot of projectile-focused guys. They're where all the Arbiters have been all locked up, after all. As well as the Demons, which you can knock out of the sky with that. And potentially just like knocking out the Skeletons from their jumping move. There's a lot of good stuff. Two sides of the same coin in some way. However, I do think that Wings of the Crow probably going to be a little bit more effective. Let's take Tornado. For fun. Also knocks away projectiles. It doesn't even deflect bullet projectiles. It just deletes them. And then of course has a much larger cooldown to compensate for that. It's something. I don't know. I think there's something to be said about that. Anyway, let's take a look here. How about like parting gift? That'd be fun. No, I think that the usual and what you really want to go for is disengagement if you're doing tactics. This has been a quite good run so far, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself when it comes to assuming victory. That would not lead to a very fantastic outcome. Fantastic. Anyway. Bringing that back from the start of the episode. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? Okay. Yeah. Well, why did I throw down that there? It's not what I wanted to do. Also, this does give me inflammable oil on the enemy. There's so many inflammable oil opportunities. Which means, again, why did I take Tornado? That was entirely unnecessary and maybe kind of like messes with the usefulness of the Wave Denial. It does stick around a lot more, but, like, come on. It's not really... Like, doing stuff like that is the run. Not doing stuff like Tornado. Has its own positives. Has its own negatives. But, certainly I wouldn't really say that it works well with each other. I just took it on a whim and didn't even think about it. Wow. That was a good dodge. Now then... I'll tell. No, I'm doing just fine as far as like food goes and everything. Oh, Wave Denial is also like one of those weird interactions. I do believe that it does deflect the gigantic crystal shard things, which is, I mean, that's a use. It only comes up in this area and the giant fight, but that is, you can get some stuff out of that. Oh boy, where do you even come from? I suppose it doesn't matter because you're gone. You're going, Cotton Eye Joe, so don't even worry about it. In the meantime, I'm also looking good on stats. Extra curse chest back in the second area that you didn't see. As well as, of course, what was it? 2 or just 1 challenge rift is doing a lot to make that. Nah, you gotta wait. You gotta wait until the crystals are actually falling before it works, though. Are doing a lot to keep me very statted up, which I like. I'm living that big stat lifestyle. Always can accept nothing less, unless I need to. Then, I mean, you know how it goes. Yeah. Knocks him right out of the sky. Pretty effective, like I was saying. Same thing with Arbiters, but I didn't quite get the ability to show that off before I got hit there earlier. Just how it goes. Just how it goes. Good. And done. And good. And that's the combo. It works. Although, should maybe go get that scroll fragment. I probably will be able to piece together a full scroll in this area if I was going to take any sort of guesses. So, might as well grab that before I forget about it. You know what? What's over here? Right into the wall for the big damage, and then Pyrotech to stick it out. I told you, you get pretty regular. You do get pretty regular oil as an affix on this, which makes it a very nice combination. Oh, come on now. All right, well, I guess I'm looking around for a piece of food now. Wow, this is an area. It actually did hit him. Are there going to be, like, in 5 minutes, a bunch of rocks falling down on me? Because I don't know if I like that. I do like that, though. That's fine. Okay. Kind of a strange level chunklet there. Not one that you usually see. A rare one or something, because I usually don't see, like, big area with a bunch of the exploding things in there. Motion Twin just snuck that one in and just hasn't been appearing too much. It's like, I'd like that. I'd like to see those things get a little bit more play. The exploding level hazards. Oh, come on now. Okay. Well, no, that's... I'm going to need a little bit more than that. I think I'm just going to have to go take a potion charge, unfortunately. Yep. Definitely now. Unfortunate, yeah. No other way to put it. Now then, what else we got going on up here? This was, I guess, the more critical path comparatively, so maybe not the one that I wanted to go down immediately for exploration's sake. Also, you don't know if there's going to be a... Yeah, there's the end right there. You never know if there's going to be a curse chest in here. Certainly it catches me off guard whenever it happens. So, yeah. Ooh, what do you got? Yeah, I'll take it. I was kind of hoping for a legendary item, to be honest, because that would have been nice. Legendary items are fun. Get some good stuff doing that. Demons cannot be lit on fire, but they do take damage just from the weapon itself. Kind of one of those annoying things where you can't take them down with the damage over time as much as you'd like to. Again, that's the combo. There we go. At least I'm back up to full health, even though I am a little bit down on resources otherwise. Anything of interest? I mean, I'd like to get like an upgrade for the Wave of Denial, but I know that's probably... I'm not going to be able to have enough money to actually buy that in this particular shop. Perhaps in the future. We'll see. All right. Yeah, I guess what would have gotten here. There could also be upgrades in here, and like I was saying, I'm not really looking for too much, yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily better. I'm not really looking for too much in terms of damage off of this for the most part, but it is nice to have. It's just a pleasant, easy thing to make my life easier. Okay. Getting to... can I push him off the edge here? Yes, there we go. Now the real question is, yeah, that did leave whatever the thing it dropped in the drink. Okay, this is actually better than I was hoping for. Yeah, let's take it. I can actually afford that one. Okay, never mind. Oh, nope, nope. The necklace, I guess, just took its time to pop back up here. I don't know. Whatever. You want to take this just for a lot of extra health? Yeah, I probably should. I'm doing okay on stats and everything right now, after all. So I shouldn't be fretting over that too much. Yep. Hey, it's like an auto parry. I haven't really even been using my shield too much. Just have it kind of as a emergency type of deal. Well, also, yeah, I was saying, it's like, hey, I just need one more scroll fragment. As soon as I can find that, that'll be good. And then didn't even use it when one appeared. Okay. I think that's basically what I'm looking at for this area if I just wanted to leave. But I'll see if I can't explore around a little bit more. I'm sure there's definitely a stat or two hanging around. There's that one area over here, after all, that I didn't really look at. Or maybe just extra money. Can always use money. Especially right now, because I've been going a little bit harder into shopping compared to what I normally do. So glad I don't have to continue to get the garland key. Right. Hey, what's a Dead Cells run without at least one trap chest? With cells that I can't even use. Okay, there we go. That's the final stat. That's the one I'm looking for. Then I can get out of here and see how this giant fight goes. I got high hopes. I think it'll be just fine. Good. And probably going to give me even more stats. Good. Or even more health, not stats, but also stats. And then, you got anything of interest? Probably nothing I can afford again, but, like, yeah. Like, I'd like to, but no. Okay, yeah, there's nothing really there. As I thought. I guess things aren't as expensive as I was thinking, but... Wait, is that not the end? Well, the stat scroll there. Or a scroll fragment, I mean. I guess I'll go get it. Why not? Now. Not too many enemies in here, so it should be pretty simple to do so. There we go. Actually managed to get the deflection on all of the crystals there like I was hoping. Good. Still 2 potion charges down, which, yeah. I can't really do too much about that, though. Well, maybe in the future, but we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I do think that the giant should be just fine. Looking at a pretty good fight for him, if I'm not entirely miscalculating this. I don't know. We'll see. Bam, and let's go. Well, that's obviously not really going to do too much. I should wait until the actual projectiles start, like, coming up here. Because otherwise, you know... Good. See, good, easy oil application, if nothing else. And that's good for, like, hitting up the... Bam. That's good for, like, hitting up the eyeball and everything, if necessary. Yep. See, again, that would work super well on any build, not even just this one, not even just like attack this one here. I didn't realize that he was at super attack. Thankfully, Wave of Denial made that trivial to deal with. Ah, it's perfect. Good. Okay, don't do that. I was trying to wait it out to get all of the things hit at once, and that was a bad idea. Oh, what? Really? I really thought I had the, really thought that I had the thing there. Of course, yeah, of course another good application of the... I'll just do that real quick. Because, I mean, it is probably a little bit more effective to not just use Wave Denial on that after all if I have this shield. Yeah, okay, there we go. Actually managed to deflect both of those. Well then, I guess we're going to do... Oh wait, no, I'm not actually in... My disengagement wasn't working for me there. Good. And... Okay, let's finish this up already. I've kind of proven, I think, that this is a quite good sort of build here. I should probably, like, actually look at getting out before I die. You know what? I was thinking about maybe going to the distillery after this. I think I might just have to not do that because I've been messing around too much trying to get, like, weird combos working and everything. Yep. Now then, not as much damage as I thought I had on this guy, to be honest. That's too bad. Oh well. As it is, though. Sell the meat skewer here. Hey, knife dance is pretty good. Probably better than the tornado. Sure, tornado has some good stuff with it, but also, like, yeah. You know. Wait, don't sell that. But yeah, also the tornado is not really working too well with everything else that I'm using here. This will at least be good for the last area, as well as just big burst damage, too. I mean, I knew that the Wave Denial wasn't going to be very good against bosses. I just thought that the pyrotechnics would compensate for that anyway, in a way that it didn't quite manifest, and in the way that I was hoping. As you do. As you do. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to say that it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be going to the distillery after this, or the castle, but it's like, I really thought that I would have had a chance. It's just, yeah, I got a little bit too overconfident. What can I say? Let's go. So still be very good at applying that oil and everything like I was saying before. As well as maybe like a micro stun out of attacks and everything. I guess that didn't quite happen in the way I hoped it would, but that's okay. Also should be good at taking out the banners too, which are sometimes a little bit frustrating depending on how the game tends to give it to you. Like X. Okay. Ooh, didn't quite get all of them, though. Now then. Can't believe he's not in his next phase yet. Yeah, I really thought I had more damage than this, to be honest. There we go. Took you time, didn't you? Oh, I'm trying to figure out, it's like, why is he walking up there so much? Well, okay, clearly I had like a very good run that I just kind of squandered doing a bunch of stupid stuff, but I think that shows off the weapon pretty well nonetheless.